Hello, how you guys doing? I hope you're doing fine. I hope you're doing wonderful. This is a brief analysis for gold and its correlation, and just to try to find anything we can read here. This is we're starting with USD, DXY, dollar, and what we see right here is the dollar is at buyer support. It's a buyer zone right here, exactly at the zone. What about the MACD is in the bearish crossover? But stochastic is definitely very weak. What's gonna happen with it? No one knows. It's really very. No one knows. Even the dollar itself doesn't know. So we look at the weekly time frame for the dollar right here. What do we see? The same information, yet we can find an upcoming support by the lower end of the ball in Japan right here. It could come and help dollar next week. It might not. And we have definitely a bullish divergence in the weekly time frame between the stochastic and price action, yet we might have a very bad bearish crossover in the MACD. So when it comes to dollar, it's not really very clear yet. You can use the correlation with TLT, and you can see bullish action in TLT. A higher TLT price means a lower yield. Lower yield means lower dollar. So the dollar here is, you can see the 10-day moving average pointing up, and we find support, and there's a bullish action, yet there's nothing clear so far. The stochastic is showing some strength, and it's gonna go for 80 again. So if you believe in that, that means a breakdown in dollar. So nothing is clear at all. But if you put TLT in the dollar, you might think there's a chance of higher TLT, lower yield, lower dollar. Based on that, let's look at gold. Gold is definitely at buyer's zone support. You can see this level. The low of today is this, and 1776 was the high of this day on the 18th of May. Almost 70, yeah, almost there. So it's an older price memory. So you find buyers there, and in addition to that, if you run a Fibonacci retracement from this low on 16th of March to this high, you would have a 50% Fib retracement is at the price action, right? The low of the price action, which means the buyer stepped in a buyer's zone, which is very bullish, yet it's not a buying signal. And what happened in addition to that, you have an A, B, C, 1-to-1 measure move from here to here to here, which what do you have? One, the measure move, buyer zone, old price memory, and Fibonacci retracement. What do we see in the stochastic? Nothing. So this is the daily time frame. So let's look at the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame tell us we might go through a measured move where the high of this day minus the low of this day, which might give us in the high 1600s in the longer time frame in the weekly. So what might happen here, you might bounce up. If the dollar breaks down, then you go back down, and this will make TLT maybe test this high. This will bring the dollar down, give a bounce for gold, then we might go down. We don't know. So what's bearish about gold is this thing right here, the breakdown. I'm not discussing the Elliott wave now. I'm trying to do it short terms. I don't want to do the Elliott wave and speculation. Just we're trying to find buyer zone, seller zone, and measured moves and bullish actions. Okay. So even in the weekly time frame, we could look at the stochastic and we could try to find out what happened in the past. So now we are oversold below 20 in the stochastic, and historically, when you reach that level, you are very weak. So sometimes you stay between, this is almost 12 days. We just started yesterday or today. Yesterday was closed, so say today. I would say 2 days ago. So we have at least 10 days more, the least. And here we have more. You can check it yourself. Here we have longer time. So stochastic is telling me we might have bounce back, but based on the historical behavior, we will go back to oversold or weakness. Okay. GDX, as I tweeted a couple of days ago, that GADX is implying a price for gold at high 1700s, and that's exactly what happened today. So this is the correlation, so you could try to speculate what happens to the main thing, which is gold, by using gold miners. So what's going on with gold miners? This is bullish action. You have an inverted hammer and a beautiful two bullish candles back to back. And there is no signal yet based on the oscillators. Yet, if you put correlation, when you correlate GDX to GDXJ, which is the junior gold miners, so there's a bullish crossover, yet it's not over 20. And it stayed longer than usual in GDX since 18th of November. It's the longest this year, which implies weakness. So the longer it stays, the longer, the weaker it is. So you might have a bounce back, and we don't know what's going to happen next, but there is a bearish crossover between the 200-day moving average and the 10-day moving average. Sometimes this produces weakness. So bullish action in the price action, bearish action in the moving averages, bullish action in the bullish crossover in the stochastic, yet it's in a low number and stay there for long. And GDXJ today had a better performance, which indicates maybe a bounce back, because today it almost made 1% and it managed to close over the 200-day moving average. Same thing here. So in conclusion, what might happen here, no one knows, but it's dollar is very weak, TLT is very strong, which implies lower yields, higher TLT, lower dollar for a bounce. And now even the gold found buyers at buyers zone, in multiple buyer zones, as I discussed earlier, which increases the chances for a bounce, not the end of the correction. Yet this thing is extremely bearish, which implies a measured move in the high 1600s, and also this low reading, the stochastic, implies a longer duration, like what happened in the past. So no one knows the future, no one knows what's going to happen. The complication with the confusing signals between the bonds, the dollar, and gold, it's really confusing. If you are pure chartist for gold, the gold is in breakdown and it's going to the 1600s if you pure charter set. And you gotta believe in your analysis, otherwise you can't function. But if you believe in correlations, you see breakdown dollar, higher TLT, higher gold. GDXJ is outperforming GDX, and there are a lot of bullish actions. GDX might bounce back, and so would GDXJ. So, well, I really don't know what's gonna happen. I just gave this briefing. I wish you guys the very best. Please like if you like. Subscribe. I mean, disco is forever.